So hello all, welcome back at v2testing.com. So from today onward, I will be discussing on the REST assured API. So this is a complete video series of REST assured API automation testing. So for the basic overview, you can go to my website, which is v2testing.com. You can read the basically the theory part, what is API and something. And I'm assuming that you have gone through my previous video. This is where I have given the API testing overview. So now I will start the actual REST assured API. Okay, so in the API basically we have the coding part. There is a very less theory part. Okay, so first of all we will be discussing few more things like the today we will be discussing the today's highlighted agenda will be uh, introduction of the REST API. You can say introduction of REST assured automation. You can also say the API testing of automation, and then we will discuss about how to set up uh, a fake server. You can say set up a fake server so that we can run our request and get the response. Okay, and then we will get to know that how many basic requests we have, how many basic requests we use in our project, in our real time project, in our real project or in the industry, which are the basic requests which are being mostly used in the real time application. Okay, so let's discuss what is the first of all what is the introduction of the REST assured. So basically REST assured nothing, just it's a kind of a Java library. Okay, so if you say it, what do you mean by the REST assured? So it's nothing, it's a kind of Java library which is used in the testing of the RESTful web services. Okay, it can be used to test the XML, and then it also JSON based web service and support different HTTP methods like put, post, post, get, put, delete, patch, head, etc. Okay. Also can be integrated with the various testing framework like TestNG, JUnit, etc. And also REST assured is implemented in Groovy. This is an important point. It is it is being asked in the interview that uh, what is implemented in REST assured. So always remember REST assured implements the Groovy language is implemented in Groovy, and you should know that the Groovy is the advanced version of the Java. Okay, just start form of the Java. Now, REST assured is developed and maintained by John Havley. This is just introduction part that you should know about the REST assured. So now what we will do, so whatever we are doing with the manual testing in the API, that we are putting our request, we are checking the response by using Postman or some other tool. So same thing we will do in the, you can say, in the using the Eclipse editor, and we will be automating these whole things. So what are the prerequisites? So the prerequisites will be your system must have the Java, and also means Java should be installed and the path should be set, and then you should have one editor like IDE, like Eclipse, IntelliJ, or anything if you have. Then you have some builder tool, Maven, Gradle, whatever you want, and one TestNG framework, or if you are using the JUnit, but I will recommend that you use the TestNG. Okay, so now in the configuration part, we will learn that what are the dependency we need to add in our project, and also then we will discuss these all things. Okay, so now first of all, let me tell you that how to set up. Okay, means how to set up the fake server so that we can get the response and we can run our you can say our API. Okay, so if you go to here, so there is a website, it's known as the resreq.in. So they are used to also provide a lot of the fake APIs that you can use in your project to get the response. Means this is the API, whenever you will run you will get these all things data. Okay, so these are the API that you can use in your testing. Okay, so they have also given the get, post, put. So you can also use these all things. Also, it purely depends on you, and also you can you can say that you can create your own server or your own fake server so that you can check the request. Okay, and if you want to know about much more about the REST assured API and you want to go much more the documentation, so this is the actual website restassured.io. Go to here, and here in the documentation part you will get enough like getting started, download these all things. You will get all the things in a very detailed way. And in the actually the in the REST assured API we are just doing the coding. It have very less theoretical part. Okay, so let's discuss that how we will set the server to you can say to call the uh, APIs. Okay, first of all, just download the Node.js in your machine. So I just go to Google and type here download, or here download Node.js. Okay, so there will be first official website is nodejs.org. Just open this one. So you will get a setup for Windows 32, for Mac, for this one. If you click on this one, this file will be downloaded. Okay, so this one will be downloaded on your machine. And then for as a simple software, you can just double click on it and click on the next button. It will be installed in your PC. Okay, and if it has been installed, then you can check the version that whether it is installed or not. So just open the cmd, means command prompt, and just type a command like npm -v. Okay, so it will tell you about the version you have. So I have the 6.14.4. Why I have? Because I have already you can say installed Node.js in my machine. You can say if you install any program, it will appear in the C under the program file. Okay, that's it. If you have done these all things, that you have installed your Node.js, then I will tell you command to install the server and then how to start this one. Okay, so let me run. There is one more command that I have already written. There is a command like this one. Okay, so I will use this command as npm install, and then I will say json hyphen server. Just press the enter. It will take some little time, and one file will be generated. Location will be like that where you have run your command, like this one. Uh, C user and C Chauhan. So if you go to this location, C user C Chauhan. So here one file will be generated like db this one. Okay. So one file will be generated by this name. Now you have installed the JSON server. Okay. I have already installed. I have already, you can say, installed the JSON. That's why it's throwing some message. Don't worry about these all things. And also I have some file over here. Now let me run the command to start the server. Okay. So this is the command like that you can start the server. Write JSON without space server space double hyphen watch, and suppose that I'm saying db2.json. What do you mean by the db2? db is your file name and .json is an extension. If we'll just click on it, so it is throwing some error like there is some issue in the file. Let me go to here and remove to, and then I will say this one. Okay, so loading db.json and it is an URL. Okay, so let me open the URL. Let me copy the URL. It's a http localhost uh, colon 3000. So just open your browser, go to here and say http this one www.localhost colon 3000. If we'll run this one, okay, so you will get these all messages. Means the server is saying it is running, that you are running this one, and whatever the request you are performing. So let me open the file first so that you can understand very easily that what does this mean. If I will open this one, so you can see that I have already whatever the thing is this, like it have some post, it have some comment, it have some profile. You can also create your own file. For example, that I have already created this file. So how the file will be created, I will tell you by one more way. Suppose let me make it blank. So how the file will be created, uh, just put the double quote like this one. Okay, now like right here your user whatever you want to give, colon, okay, then square braces, and then again square braces. In the last line we do not put the comma, always remember. Okay, then inside this make a braces like this one, and go to here. For example, I want to give the id, give it id and value like 1. Okay, now suppose that I want to give one more thing like a name, this one, and I want to give a string value, so I will say that Chandan. Okay, so now this is the last line of my this one, so I will not put the comma here. This one I have done. So now while saving the file, just save it as a like this one, like dv2 I have done, so I will make it as a dv3 dot extension will be JSON, this one. So you have created one file dv3 dot JSON. So if you want to stop your server, so the command will be the control C. If we press, this will appear, terminate batch job, say yes by pressing Y, this one. Now you can also start your server, start your server, and you can also say that dv3 dot JSON. Okay, so this one you can say loading your dv3 file, a URL has been generated. Let me open the file and let me explain you that the URL is now localhost 3000 user, means user you have created here. And if you run this command, so you will get a proper what you have created user, this one. Okay, so you have created the same data in this file. Okay, so now if you want to create more data, so just copy this one like user. Suppose that this time I want to give it name as a emp, means employee. Okay, id will be 1, emp name, like you can give it as a way to testing, this one. And again you can say giving the last name, last name, you can give it as a way to testing.com, or whatever you want to give the data. Okay, so you can, so this always in the last line we will not put the comma, and just before the last line everywhere there will be comma, this one also, and this one also there will be comma. Okay, so let me save this one. Now if I will run this one, it will not appear. Why? Because we need to again start our server. Okay, so now if I will refresh this one, go to here, refresh this one, dv3, let me change the id, this one make it as a 2, user, this one, comma, this one, everything is okay. So let me run this one, it's not updating. Let me say control C, say Y, this one. Okay, now it has been updated. So now your URL or your user, you will get this one, and your second command was employee. Okay, so just copy this one and put it here, this one, you will get this one. Okay, so in this way you can create multiple data, and for example that inside user you want to create much more data like this one, and it purely depends on that how you want to create your file or your database file, so that you can check your response. Okay, like yeah. Okay, So it purely depends on you that how you are getting your how you want to perform the operation. So this is I am setting a dummy server, or you can say the fake server, so that you can perform a lot of operation. You can perform the get post each operation. Okay, so this one. So there is some syntax error as I told you in the third line. Yeah, this is the ID, this one. So everything is okay. Let me put the comma. Not this comma is not required. Let me just remove this one. Now it's okay. I think so. Okay. Now let me run this one. So basically, what I'm trying to say that you will have you can create your own server for the files. Okay. So let me refresh it. Means just okay. So let me refresh this one. So you will get data as you have created. Okay, so this is the way what I'm trying to say. You can create your own Excel or your own JSON file. I have already created. Let me close this one. So I have created a very good JSON file so that I can show you that what is going on and we can perform all the operation. So I have created a JSON file like db2, this one. Okay, so let me open this one. Okay, so this is my second file that I have created. So let me run this one. My mouse is not working, I think. Okay, so I think user is not the method that I have. You have these all methods like user, get, delete. These are the data that you have. So I have these all the data. I have already created these all data like for users I have created two users, ID1, ID2, and for this get we have created something. So I have created different methods so that I can show you the different operation. So you can also create your own file if you want. Otherwise you can also use this file. I will give you this one. Okay. So now uh, let me show you first of all that what all the operation we will be automating or all the API requests that we will be automating these all things. Okay, so suppose that we have some basic methods of the API, like there is a first method which is being most of the used in the organization. These two methods you will be performing too much in your organization, in whatever organization you are working. Okay, so first method will be the get and the post. Get means you are just fetching the data. So whether data is in your server, whether data is in your some file, JSON file, or whether data is in some database table. So you are just fetching the data from that table or from that server by using the get request. Means you are reading the data from your JSON file or your server. Now second is a post. So post, what does this mean by the post? Post means you are just adding one row in your database table. Means you are adding one more record in your JSON file or you can say the JSON server. Okay, means you are posting something. For example, there is a username, your user registration field. So 10 user, if you are doing the registration, then 10 row will be created in your database. Okay, so now the delete command. Delete means you are just deleting some record. Okay, when there is some record that you want to delete, so we will call this method. So basically this is not allowed in most of the organization, that in general, for example, that where I am working, it's a word level MNC, so we do not authorize to run the delete operation. Now the third and fourth and fifth is the put and fetch. So there is a lot of confusion, or somebody is still confusing that what is the put and the fetch. So let me tell you a very simple example. Okay, in some non-technical way, suppose that you have purchased a mixie grinder. Okay, so you have just purchased a mixie grinder. Okay, and you have few jars along with that. Okay, there is a one jar, two jar, a lot of jars you have with your mixie grinder. Now suppose that your one jar is not working due to any reason. Okay, due to any reason this jar is not working. So you have two options, because either you can replace the complete set and you can say to them that I don't want to use this I don't want to use this operation, don't want to use this if product, so please replace this one. Okay, so your vendor will or your supplier will replace your entire product. Second option is this one, that you want to just replace your discharge. Okay, so what does this mean? So when you are replacing your complete product, means you are doing the put operation. Okay, when you are replacing with your small defected part, it is known as the patch operation. So this is the main difference. Okay, now let's discuss much more in the deep. I will tell you by when we will start the actual coding. I will tell you in much more thing. What I am trying to set a clear line in your mind between the put and the patch. This is the clear line between the put and the patch. Now, one more thing. Suppose that if you are doing the put operation, that means there will be some heavy task. Means your supplier will come with a big package. He will give it to you. He will change it, take to you, and he will go back to you. Okay, go back from you. Now in the patch operation, it's a lightweighted. Means someone will come with a small jar. He will check whether jar is not working. He will just simply replace. So again, what does this mean? Suppose in the put, so complete your JSON file, whatever you have written, all the things will be updated. Suppose that this is a 10 line code, so you have to send the 10 line request for the put operation. But for the patch operation, you will just simply target on the specified location. For example, that if I'm saying this is the body, suppose that I'm passing. Okay, I'm just giving an example. In the actual video, I will write. Suppose that I want to update this one. Okay, or you can say that this is my file. This one, I want to update this simple command. Okay, so I will prefer the patch command. So for the patch, if this simple record will be updated. If I will run the put command, so I have to send this complete data, that ID is equal to 1, this is equal to 1, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and here I have to change the value. So this one will be updated. So this is the basic difference that I am trying to tell you between the put and the patch. So these are the basic 5 commands on which we will be working, like get, post, put, delete. So in the organization, you will be using only the 4 commands like get, post, put, and patch mostly, and sometimes you will also use the header. So we will also discuss these all things. Now let's start with the coding, and these all things mean the setup part. So how the setup will be done? So as I told you that if you have the some prerequisite like Java editor, these all things, so you need to go to your Eclipse. Okay, so I am creating a project and we will be working all the tasks on that project. So I will say that rest assured, I will create a Maven project, or if you have some other builder tool like a Gradle or something you can use, but I used to prefer the Maven. So I will go to here, I will simply click the next button, I will take it as it is, and here I will give my project name as a group ID. So I will say that my project name will be rest assured demo. Okay, same thing I will give as a artifact ID. Now I will click on the finish button. So you can say that in the bottom your project is downloading the necessary things. It is creating the building space. So your project has been created here like a rest assured demo. This one. Okay. If you expand this one, you will get some folders like this one. You may get some different folder as well if you have some or one more folder like resource. Don't worry. We will be working only 2 folders. Basically, the text folder is useful for the tester, and rest are not working. So whenever you are going to some organization, so in the organization you will be also working all the tasks within these all 2 folders. Okay. So I will be explaining you these all things in a few minutes. Let me remove this is a default packages that has been created. So let me remove this one as well. Okay, so first of all, our whenever we are working on the Maven project, so our first task is to update the Maven pom.xml. Okay, what do you mean by the pom.xml? Means we are following the project object model .xml. Okay, so we will be updating these all things. So it have some your let me explain a little bit that you have whatever the project name that you have given, then some versions and these all things it will have. Okay, so now The main part starts from here, like the dependency. If you check it out, so it's a XML file. It have the tag like dependencies. So we don't use the JUnit dependency, so I will remove this one. Okay, there is a 4 to 5 dependencies that you need to add in your project. So I will tell you that what are the all the dependencies. So first of all, let me open this one. So the first dependency will be the REST assured dependency. Okay, so I will go to my Maven repository. This one, this is a website. Also, you can go from the Google as well, like Maven repository. If you type, this website will get open. Okay, so first of all, I need the REST assured dependency. Let me close this one. We don't need this one. So first of all, we have to configure the REST assured dependency. So in the search box of the Maven repository, I will type the REST assured and I will hit the enter to search. And now always remember, so the package for the REST assured dependency will be io.rest.assured, io.rest-assured. So you will get a lot of options. So always choose which one have this package like io.rest-assured. So this one io.rest-assured is the main thing that we will use. Okay, so choose this one, and here you will get some option like I will use the updated one. Okay, and also you can say the different builder tool we have like Gradle, XPT, IVP, grep. So for the Maven, the dependency is this one. So as we know, for the copy we generally use to select from the bottom, not from the top. So I will go to here, I will paste here, and I will say the Control S. Okay, so if you as soon you will press the Control S, all the required jar files will be downloaded as itself. So let me move to the second dependency, which was the TestNG dependency. So I will go to here, I will type the TestNG. Simply, I will hit the enter, and now this is your TestNG like org.testng. So always remember the package should be org.testng. Okay, so I will click on this one, and this one will get open. Okay, so I will again use the updated version, which is a 7.1.0, because it has 309 uses. So I will open this one, I will copy this one from the bottom like this, and then I will go to here in my Maven, and after this dependency I will also press this one. Okay, okay, so the formatting, to format proper, select Control A, then Control I, so your code will be formatted properly. What I'm trying to do. Okay, now after the text ng, we need the JSON simple dependencies. So we'll just get the JSON sample dependencies. So JSON hyphen simple. Okay, so again see the package. The package will be com.googlecode.json hyphen simple. Find this one, com.googlecode.json.hyphen this one. So again we have a lot of things, but we will use this one. So it's always important that how to use the appropriate dependencies. Let me copy it from bottom as well, and we will go to here and we will paste it here after this dependency. Okay, now we have, I think, pasted the dependency of Google of JSON sample. Now I will go with the Apache POI. This is important part. So if you have seen my previous videos where I have told you that in the Java how to read the how to read the Excel file, Notepad file, Word file. So Apache POI we are using to read the file. But in the REST assured we need two Apache file, because in the REST assured we also get the response in form of the XML. We can also get the response as the form of a string or something. So XML and JSON, to reading these all things we need the two Apache POIs. So we need these all two things. So I have already mentioned that Apache PY org.apache.py and second Apache PY from the XML package like this one. So I will first use this one. I will open this one. So now I will use the updated one. So I will just copy it from here, and then we will copy this one and we will go to our Maven project and we will paste it here. Now I will go to back and again back, and I will open this one XML. Again I will take the most updated one and I will copy it again. So the main benefit when you are using the Maven, that you can just suppose that in future you want to change the version, so just you need to change the version. For example, that I want the 4.1.4, so I will just change it from here. Okay, so these all things that we will be doing in the so you have just configured your you can say your pom.xml file. So configuration part have been done. Okay, so let me save this one. Go to your project after every time. Always remember, when you are creating the Maven project, after updating your pom.xml file, you just need to go to the project, click on the right and right click. After clicking on the mouse, you will get to the Maven, and here you will get an option like update project. So you are always required, it's always a good practice to just update your project. Okay, so now we will be working from the next class, that how to create the class and then how to send the get request, then how to capture the post request, and then how to capture the response code, these all things. So somebody also asking that how we will use to write the test cases for the API or REST SEO testing. So in the organization you will be writing your test cases like this one. So always remember, in the API testing we very less have the documentation. Mostly we will be focusing on the coding part and the you can say actual coding part, and actually that point to point data or test cases. Not much more theoretical is there. So we generally have a API ID. Okay, then a small description. Then this is a URL, endpoint URL, and then we have some key if we have. Then we have the one column like method, which kind of method we will be using, like get method. Then URI we will have. So I will explain you what we mean by the URI. So URI means the actual URL, means the parent URL also you can say, and it is the endpoint URL. Okay, I will explain these all things very well. So suppose that uh, if we check this one or if we check this URL, so what is the difference between the endpoint URL and URI URL? So if I will use URL from let me, let me copy this one. Suppose that this one. Let me open the browser. So this is my end URL. Okay. So this is my end URL. It will give me the weather condition. Okay. So now for it will give me the weather. So here I have to add the city. Like if I want to add the Delhi, so it will give me the weather condition of Delhi. Now if I'll change it from here, I will say that Goa. So it will give me the weather of Goa. Okay. So now this complete URL is URI, and now this parent URL, this one is your URL or end URL. Okay, so that's why I have written here is the end URL, and here we will be written here the URI. And then we will create a column for the body, then we will create the response, and then we'll create the status code, and then we'll create the status line, and then time and the comment. So don't worry, these all the things will be provided to you. Okay, suppose that when we are writing the manual test cases, so all the things we used to get from the FRS and SRS document, like functional requirement specification document, SRS document we used to get. So it does not matter how you are getting, but you will get these all things in a document or via anything via email. You will get these all things, that this will be your API, and this will be your body type, this will be your response message, this will be your response code. So these all things will be given to you. You just need to write the test case in such a format. Okay, so this will be your test case that you will be writing. So in the actual, I will in the next class I will tell you that how we'll be passing the different requests like get, post, put, patch, delete. We will be performing the operation of all the requests, and after that I will let you know that how to automate the actual APIs in the organization. So it's it enough for today. So I am assuming that you will be configure you will configure all the setup part or the basic part in your machine, so that from the next class we will just start the actual coding. Means we will create the class, we will call the get request, we will validate the response. These all things we will do from the next class. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.